Final Fantasy 16 reviews are officially out. It's sitting at an 88 on Metacritic right now. Final Fantasy 7 through 10 all have a Metacritic score in the 90s, and then after that, all of the Metacritic scores of Final Fantasy games have been in the 80s. But really, who cares about Metacritic? At the end of the day, if you like the game, you like the game. You don't need somebody else's approval to do that. But I did read some of these negative reviews, which I thought were actually kind of interesting and even helpful. It seems like the two big things that I've heard in the reviews that are negative about the game are, number one, the side quests. They seem to be overall pretty boring and missable, which I'm pretty disappointed in that. I really felt the same way about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think I could have played that whole game and not have done any side quests, and I still would have loved the game just as much regardless. It seemed like the side quests were just tacked on afterwards by like a different team, if you know what I mean. And then the second criticism is that the open world is, not really an open world. It seems like most of these big open zones are just gonna be levels. It seems like there might be a few people in them, but they're definitely not like The Witcher 3, where you can walk in any direction for 30 seconds and you're gonna run into a treasure chest, a unique side quest, a different random event. Like they definitely didn't make this a living, breathing, open zone game. And hey, that is what it is. Those are the negatives. I actually kind of felt like that might be the case from looking at some of the footage beforehand. It seemed like the open zones kind of reminded me almost of Final Fantasy XIV, where they're just these big open zones. They have a few NPCs in them, but you're not having these like dynamic events. I mean, I guess in 14 at least you have fates. Overall, I think that's okay. I do like games that are a little bit more immersive, a little more of a simulation, but what Final Fantasy 16, what it seems like they've spent their time on is the cinematics, the characters, the voice acting, the combat system, and I really feel like the emphasis on gameplay makes sense in that world design being not so simulation heavy and more just, it's like a level, it's gameplay heavy. You're gonna go through and there's gonna be monsters in these zones and you're just gonna fight them. And that makes sense. This is an action-based game. They're kind of putting all of their eggs in that basket. And from what it seems like, that basket's a very nice basket. It seems like it's doing good. Everyone has a lot of positives to say about the combat system. I've played it in the demo. It seems great. Overall, it seems like this is going to be an amazing experience. I don't think this is going to be the end-all be-all, but I really feel like Final Fantasy 16 is the beginning of a new era for Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 11 through 15 have all had problems. So it really feels like they're coming out and they're setting a new standard for what Final Fantasy games are going to be like going forward, which I think is really exciting. I'm excited to get into this game. The story looks great. Like I've said a million times, this game is a lot more mature than any other Final Fantasy, and frankly, more than most games that I have played these days. This game seems very mature and along the same lines of a CD Projekt Red game. And so for that, I am extremely excited. Reviews, they are what they are. They can be helpful, and I actually think these ones were helpful because I think I'm not going to try and do every single side quest, because I think I will be disappointed if I go in there hoping that all these side quests are just going to be amazing and the most fun things ever, because it sounds like they're a little bit milquetoast vanilla. But like I said, the combat seems anything but vanilla. It seems like the combat is complex and a lot of fun to play. They said that all the boss battles are unique and are really fun to play, so we're gonna have a great time with this game. So I'm really excited. That being said, make sure you follow, subscribe on here, and if you want to hang out with me while I play the game tonight, I think it's coming out at 9 p.m. Pacific, so I'm gonna be playing it tonight. So come follow me on Twitch. Let's play some Final Fantasy. Let's have a good time, and yeah, I'll see you guys there.